Ya, one ba yata yung
3 hours di dapat. Wait. May kasugod.
up.
May kasugod.
Yes. Ako na video. Sorry, check ako. Yeah,
Maklaro ang phones. Check ko. Phones ba sa frame.
Sige lang, like, i-pick up niyo muna. Pwede mo yung light up na wala ako. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, lights, camera, action.
Hi everyone, welcome to
The Vast Space.
your new favorite corner of the internet. I'm Chloe.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Casey. I'm Chrislyn.
So on today's episode, where we will be diving into one of the most pressing issues of our time, social media's powerful influence and the spread of misinformation.
Yeah.
And then,
Before we dive into that, we want to tell
Wait, balik sabi. Sorry kayo na.
Na-disturb siya.
Yan.
1, 2, 3.
Ano naman, ikaw magano ako.
Kira.
Ano sa'yo mo? Sige. Lights, camera, action.
So hi everyone, welcome to
The Vast Space.
your new favorite corner in the internet. I'm Chloe.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Casey.
I'm Chrislyn.
So on today's episode, where we will be diving into one of the most pressing issues of our time, social media's powerful influence and the spread of misinformation.
Yes.
So we will be discussing real-life case studies that address and evaluate the importance of
Palay lang.
Balik. Ano to? On today's episode,
Naka-wear mo sa mic. Ikaw daw, i-play daw ang mga previews. 2:16 ka kuan.
16 minutes.
Ano i-post na? Ay,
Ay, gana daw. Ay, sige daw. Forward daw. Sa tanang good morning.
anak-anak. Lights, camera, action.
so hi everyone, welcome to the Last Space.
Okay, Ram. Okay, good. Sorry. Check lang. Okay, go.
Balik.
1, 2, 3.
So hi everyone, welcome to
The Vast Space.
your new favorite corner in the internet. I'm Chloe.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Casey.
I'm Chrislyn.
So on today's episode, where we will be diving into one of the most pressing issues of our time. So it's social media's powerful influence and the spread of misinformation.
Yes.
So spoiler alert guys, we will be talking about 3 case studies to help us really understand and evaluate why are these things a concern to us.
But before we dive into that, we're gonna tell you a little background about our group name and why we came up with the vast space. So we actually use the outer space and its metaphor, its vastness for our topic today, which is relating to social media, because social media and the internet space is also similar to the outer space, which is vast. And as you can see, we use the word space because its last letter C and E signifies civil engineering, which is our course.
Yay!
Engineering.
Yes, period. Okay.
So today, we're diving into something that's part of our everyday life, the social media. We're focusing on how it influences us and how misinformation spreads across platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and even in X, where content is shaped by algorithms and influencers. The issue is that false information spreads fast, post can mislead the public or spark unnecessary panic. Social media has a real world impact. It influences how people think, vote, and even respond to issues. And when misinformation enters the mix, that impact can become harmful. That's why it's important to understand how these platforms affect our beliefs and what tools we can use to analyze the impact.
So we can discuss now the 5 key problems related to the spread of misinformation on social media. So first, so guys, first is the rapid and widespread dissemination. Misinformation spreads significantly faster, deeper, and broadly than true information on social media. And why is that? It's because often, due to its emotional resonance, which algorithms prioritize for engagement, therefore creates a viral loop that quickly reach vast audience.
Oh, like sa lap race.
Uh,
Lugia ba lap race?
Yeah, balik-balik lang. And an example from social media is kanang memes na we can foresee on Facebook. So because it sparks joy, it sparks laughter within us, we click, share, comment, we like it. So that's why it spreads because of the emotional resonance that comes with it. And then the second is the erosion of trust in institution. So the constant exposure to conflicting or false narratives undermines public trust in credible news organizations and scientific bodies and government institutions, leading to confusion and a more polarized public that struggles to discern reliable information. So from the information that was tackled, we can conclude that it's all about power, and it's really about attacking maybe a private body, and in order for them to kind of fail, other people or other private bodies try to spread misinformation regarding that, which is not truly fact. So the third is negative impacts on public health. So health-related misinformation directly influences individuals' health behaviors, such as vaccine hesitancy, contributing to outbreaks of preventable diseases and hindering crucial public health efforts during crisis, sometimes with fatal consequences. So because of misinformation, for example, sa pandemic, di ba guys?
Yes, this is very rampant that time.
Yes, especially that we're trying to find a cure as a community for this coronavirus, and then some people, out of fear, tries to spread different kinds of fear-mongering information. Yes, fear-mongering information that actually causes harm to everyone, because instead that we get better and be safe as a community, we stray away from the solution. So, for political polarization and undermining democracy, misinformation exacerbates political divides, reinforces echo chambers, and can be used to manipulate public opinion, potentially influencing elections and eroding democratic processes by fostering distrust and division. So I think every election here in the Philippines is actually so rampant, because there are leading political public figures that are doing good in their work, but
The influencers,
some influencers or some
bloggers.
I don't know, spy, I don't know what we call them, but they try to harm them by spreading misinformation and actually ignite this emotional resonance as what we discussed a while ago. They ignite this emotional resonance from actually attacking the leading political figure ad hominem. So yes, that's that. Then lastly, 5 challenges in detection and mitigation, including cognitive biases. Identifying misinformation is complex due to various forms such as deepfakes and false context, and human cognitive biases like confirmation bias makes individuals more susceptible to believing and sharing unverified content that aligns with their existing views, hindering corrective efforts. So this an example that we can relate to this fifth matter is just like kanina sa coronavirus na vaccine. Some people believe that vaccines are scary and they are causing harm more than good to not keep us safe. And when they see a public post relating to that matter, and it confirms their biases, so they try to spread that and other people spread that. So it's like a Fibonacci sequence where it spreads and does us harm more than good. So what do you think about that, guys?
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Insightful ba?
Yes, super. Well, thank you for sharing that insightful ideas and insights about such things, Casey. Now, did you know, guys, that it's easy to think that online behavior is just random. But actually, behind it, there are patterns. And those patterns can be studied using mathematical models, including something we've learned in class, which is differential equations. Yes.
Thank you, Sir Dave.
Some third brother.
Yeah, so actually, DS can also help explain how things change over time. And like how fast misinformation spreads online. And of course, they're not the only tool. Okay, so researchers also use statistics, and then simulations and network models, and to make sense of online behavior. So to see how all these things comes together, we look at a few real-world case studies that apply these models to social media. And let's start with the first case study with my partner over there.
So our first case study, it deals with the Black Lives Matter. So I'll be reading the layout of the case study. So the case study looks at the viral spread of the hashtag #DCBlackout. So during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protest, false tweets claimed that there was a full communication blackout in Washington, D.C., which wasn't true. But it still trended fast and we're nakakosok ng mga panics about other people.
Yeah, remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. Then after that, so basically researchers aim to understand how this digital misinformation behaves by studying it like a disease.
Wow,
Rapid,
disease.
diba? Disease na, they use it as a disease.
Yeah.
Misinformation to disease.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after that, so they used a real epidemiological model to trace its spread across Twitter, showing how users reacted whether they believed it or not. And furthermore, this study responds to the real-world challenges of misinformation, especially during political tense times such as the Black Lives Matter blackout, which wasn't even true.
Interesting.
Diba? So what makes this study stand out is that they use the SEIZ model, which stands for susceptible, exposed, infected, and skeptic. So it's a system of ordinary differential equations. Thank you, Sir Dale, by the way. So it adapts from disease modeling. So it's a ODE that adapted a disease modeling. So we're modify ODE na siya. So yes, basically. So Each Twitter user was treated like someone in a population facing an outbreak. Susceptible users hadn't seen this misinformation. Exposed users have seen it but weren't sure yet. Infected users shared it, and skeptics saw it but did not spread it. So this CE-based model allowed the researchers to simulate the real-time flow of users between these categories. It even led them to predict how many people would share the hashtag, how long they would took to decide whether users reacted because they saw the tweet directly or came across it on other platforms.
Okay. Now, interestingly, to apply this model, the SEIZ model, no, they gathered almost 28,000 tweets using the hashtag from June 1 to June 4, 2020 at that time. And they used MATLAB to fit the SEIZ model to the tweet data. Now, adjusting parameters then, like how quickly users move from being exposed to actually posting those tweets. Now, the downside of this model is that it assumes that everyone behaves the same. So, yeah, it responds to tweets, which is not the case. And it ignores their personal beliefs or maybe influence levels. And also, it only look at Twitter, not Facebook, not Instagram, and other online platforms. And yeah, the model doesn't capture platform moderation or fact checking either. So those were the downsides. Plus, there's the ethical side that tracking user behavior online comes with questions about data privacy and consent, and even if it's undisclosed. Now, however, despite the downsides of it and its limitations, the model worked really well, actually. And it actually create or mirrored the rise in tweets and helped determine that most users didn't spread misinformation at all, which is a good sign. Now, because it means that the users are actually mindful of what they share online, and they took time to decide and not just react on impulse.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Stay
So,
factual, guys. Stay
Yeah.
logical.
yeah, it's very important to be mindful, to check first before we react to some things, right?
Think before you share.
Yes.
So now that we've seen how misinformation spreads, let's shift to how social media can also shape political views that push back against it.
But before we proceed to how social media can also shape political views, which is actually a local study, so thank you guys for
International study lang.
And now local.
Yes.
So we're going to shut.
But before that, I'll give 1, 2, 3.
But before we proceed on how social media can also shape political views that push back against it, it's actually fascinating to know that in our first case study, which is actually an international study, thank you guys for
Yes.
explaining, and now ang mga current study is a local study, in a way it's set aside for now. So from the first case study, it's actually nice to know that researchers used a disease model to show how misinformation can spread like a virus. And in doing so, they discovered that most users didn't react on impulse, but instead took time to decide whether to share it. Now that we have covered an international case study, let's go to our local case study with my partner Chelsea.
So this study explores how social media influences the political attitudes of senior high school students, particularly in their ability to identify and respond to misinformation. So this study was conducted among 160 students from Felix Armanti Senior High School. So the researchers found that the features of social media platforms and frequent exposure to political content significantly shape how students perceive and engage with political issues. So this study also addresses the real-world problem of digital misinformation, especially in the Philippines, here in our country, where social media is a primary source of political information for youth. It highlights the urgent need for media literacy education to help young people critically evaluate online content and develop informed, responsible civic attitudes.
This study actually used and applied a descriptive correlational statistical model based on survey data to analyze the relationship between social media use and political attitude. While not really a DE-based model, we can see that it also approaches a statistical matter and help identify patterns in how social media influences students' responses to misinformation. These insights can inform educational strategies and predict potential trends in political engagement, guiding interventions like media literacy programs.
So this study used a descriptive correlational method through validated surveys. So it involves, again, I said it kanina, is it responses from 160 senior high students to examine the relationship between social media use and political attitudes. So this study assumes survey answers assumes survey answers reflect the true attitudes through they though they may miss deeper biases. Okay, so its accuracy is only limited, so bale self-reporting, a narrow sample, and the absence of predictive or DE models. Ethical concerns includes protecting student privacy and avoiding political bias.
Okay.
That's actually good that they avoid political bias because in the Philippines it's actually very quick to ignite that emotional resonance.
Especially the time where Pink Laban and BBM. Diba?
Even lang kami third date. But anyway, for the solution, the model helped highlight how specific social media behaviors influence students' ability to counter misinformation. By revealing these patterns, it supports the development of targeted media literacy programs to strengthen critical thinking and responsible political engagement among youth like us.
Yeah, okay. So, good. Now, we've seen mathematical, wait sa, punta mag-class break.
Karon, dapat. So,
Okay,
sa
okay.
ano.
One, two, three.
Edit so na nasa na to.
Okay, sige. 1, 2, 3.
Pero ano, sa edit na lang.
Sige, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so now, going on to the third case. Why are you laughing, guys? Okay, on third case, now we've seen how mathematical models apply to individual cases. And now it's time to zoom out, okay? In this final case study, all four of us will explore a larger scenario that connects the dots and shows just how powerful mathematical modeling can be in understanding social media impact.
So, hi again. So basically, this study investigates how bots and trolls spread disinformation on social networks, which are now the primary platforms for misinformation. So using system dynamics modeling, the study reveals that even a small number of bots can significantly amplify false news by exploiting platforms' algorithms. So I think these certain trolls or bots, they somewhat tap into the algorithms to generate more fake news. But we don't know how.
Okay.
So, yes.
So So this study utilized again by system dynamics model with ordinary differential equations. Thank you, Sir Dale.
Again.
To study the dynamics of misinformation, user engagement, and algorithmic amplification in social media systems. The model simulates the complex behavior of
Yes.
social media systems, predicting how misinformation spreads and contributes to political polarization. The simulations help researchers test interventions and explore scenarios, ultimately informing platform policies and strategies to counter misinformation.
Okay, so what is their method? How, when, what, when, where? So we're going
Five
to
double A's.
we're going to discuss that here. This study on social media used math to track changes in bot activity, user behavior, and content visibility over time. So they used time, and then it demonstrated how misinformation spreads quickly through feedback loops, similar to how a system reacts to input over time. However, the study faced challenges such as making assumptions about user behavior and the lack of access to real platform data, which could make the model less accurate in real life. Additionally, modeling human behavior comes with ethical concerns such as respecting privacy and not oversimplifying to how people are affected by misinformation.
Okay. Relax, relax.
Labo!
No, for the model. Okay, guys. Now,
Okay.
the solution of the case study actually, the model helps show how misinformation can quickly grow and cause political polarization, even when it starts from just a few sources like the bots, as you said earlier. Now, by simulating how users interact and how content spreads through algorithms, the researchers were actually able to test what if scenarios. Like, what happens if bot activity is reduced? Or if platform rules are changed? So, those kinds of things. Now, this helps people better understand how online platforms work and also gives ideas on how to reduce the spread of false information and making it useful for platform designers, policymakers, and even educators.
So that,
Yeah.
that is it for the third case study.
Yes.
Diba?
What about our learnings from all the case study, right? So we discussed and we've read all those 3 case study scenario. We even analyzed those things, the methods, the contents. Now let's also relate it to our class, our differential equation class, guys. So what about your learnings? Like, what made you did it made changes like about the the DE and the case study? So what?
So for me, what sparked the most is the first case study, which is the hashtag DC blackout. It was a huge light bulb for me because it showed me that the same math we use in class, all the theoretical stuff from
like
the class,
ODE.
yeah, but specifically the ODE, the ordinary differential equations, it can actually model something as human as a public opinion. So that's very crazy that we can shrink and actually convert ODE to public opinion. So how did that even happen? But besides, it's actually good that we can do that. So it's
Yes.
because they use the SEIZ as what Chloe discussed a while ago, which is actually a system of ordinary differential equations. And in the study, actually, as mentioned a while ago, they use MATLAB to fit the SEIZ model
Yes.
to the collected tweet data. So a little background about MATLAB, it's actually can be related to differential equations as well, because it integrates, diba? From our first topic, from
Eyebrows.
separable, integrates computation, visualization, and programming into a single easy-to-use environment. So, aside from that, it actually involves also matrices, which also brings me back to our memories about MUC,
Yeah.
about Raskian and the matrices. So,
Oh my god.
that's that.
Okay, wow.
It was eye-opening to see how they could map out the spread of a post, showing exactly how fast people go from just scrolling past but something, it actually actively hits the share button. It completely changed my views in DEs, that they aren't just for predicting physical stuff, they're perfect for understanding the dynamic and ever-changing world of social media.
Wow.
That's it for me.
How about
You guys.
So for me, the
Yeah.
third case study was a standout because it zoomed out and used system dynamics with DEs to simulate how bots and algorithms spread misinformation. It actually reminded me of how feedback loops works in systems similar to concept in our DE class, like the linear ODEs and modeling change over time. It also reminds me about the Laplace.
Laplace.
Laplace
Okay,
ako.
Laplace.
Laplace ako. Okay.
I have both.
So, di ba sa Laplace is from the f of x to change to f of s, di ba? Ito dito.
So now change.
Change.
Yeah.
Um, so I like how the researchers didn't just track tweets but explored how even a few bots could trigger a wave of fake news through so through algorithmic amplification. So that felt like watching a chain reaction unfold, which is exactly the kind of behavior DEs helps us understand.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good insight and reflections and realizations. Now, for me, I didn't expect to relate to differential equations outside the classroom, actually. But seeing how they, were used in real life situations from the case studies that we had, no, it really surprised me. Surprise? Is it surprise? Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Okay, yes. It surprised me because in the first case study, the SEIZ model used ODEs and to track how fake news spreads over time. And it was eye-opening to me as well, like Casey, to realize that what? To realize that the same methods we struggle with in class, like the separation, what linear ODEs, MVP, Laplace, and ERF, and so many more, can actually explain real life problems happening online and maybe in other cases as well. And honestly, now I still find difficult in solving of differential equations, but especially with all the different methods we have in class. But this experience, analyzing the case studies, made me see the value in learning them. Really, it made me appreciate differential equations more. And also the, other mathematical systems as well, not just DE, but also other mathematical model in the second case study. So yeah, I know I need more practice in solving DEs, but for now, I feel more motivated in doing or in learning them because I understand how useful they can be also in a real world.
So, wait. Disclaimer, dili na yun siya Not only Chrislyn needs to study, needs to practice.
All of
All
us
of us.
need to practice.
Yes, especially that the exam is almost
Coming.
coming. Yes. Yes.
But
Yeah.
by the time that Sir watches this, it's already over. So we hope that
You know,
Okay.
that's 20% figures and
How about you, Chloe?
So basically, what struck me the most was the third case. It investigates how bots and trolls spread misinformation. Wait, I don't know. Wait, Alicia.
Ay, naka-change.
Andyan na sa, ano.
Yeah.
Sige.
So,
Cut na lang.
Sige.
You want
1, 2,
it?
3, go.
Okay.
so for me, the case study uses differential equations about almost all. I think the first case and the third case.
Yes.
They covered differential equation. So they modeled the disease spread, and similarly, it's like our mga lessons sa class, like separation of variables for analytical solutions and linear ODEs for simplified models. However, the real-world systems often require numerical methods for non-linear ODEs, unlike the exact solutions we often study. So personally, seeing DEs applied to these certain case studies was really eye-opening. I wasn't expecting it also, like Kristen said, for it to be applied. But I think it's very useful because it can be used to unpack, and then it can also be used to as a model for certain cases, like the epidemiological model, which modeled a disease, pwede siya maging substitute or host for certain studies. And for us engineering students, it was very eye-opening that the lessons we learned aren't only applicable in class, but also in real-world situations. So yeah.
Yeah, they can also be the foundation.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did we learn from all of this, diba? So, first, that misinformation is more than just wrong facts. It's a whole system, and math can help us understand how it spreads, and differential equations sometimes we usually see in worksheets and quizzes actually plays a huge role in modeling how fast misinformation moves online, how people react, and even how platforms can intervene.
So we also saw how different kinds of models, whether it was DEs, statistics, or system dynamics, can give us different insights into how social media shapes our thoughts, our beliefs, and even our politics. And the biggest takeaway, social media is truly very powerful, but it is also, but so is
Being informed.
Valerie.
Okay, 1, 3, go.
So we also saw how different kinds of models, such as these, statistics, or system dynamics, can give us a different insight into how social media shapes our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. And the biggest takeaway, social media is truly very powerful, but so is being informed. So
Yes.
understanding how these platforms operate through both technology and math give us the power to think and respond responsibly.
Yes, that's
That's
true.
So, while mathematical models are crucial in science and engineering, they also appear in surprising places from what we discussed, right?
Yes.
We want you to see and think about this. Where else do mathematical models apply in real life? Think.
Think, guys. You have to also figure it out.
Not
No.
just think, just see See your surroundings. Analyze your surroundings.
Yes.
Yes.
Comment your response.
On the
Comment and
So yeah. So anyways, guys, from math models to misinformation, we've covered a lot, right?
Yes.
So hopefully the episode showed how what we learn in class can actually make a sense of what's happening in the digital world around us.
So that's a wrap for today.
Yay!
Stay curious, stay kind, and we'll see you next time on
The Vast Space! Thank you for watching.
Bye!
Hope you learned something.
Sana bisa.
Wait, so, ano itong contribute ka itong
Hala, naopong ko.
Ha?
Card full.
Ha?
Naka-record naman ka.
Oh!